This is Coogan Cassius for IFL TV. We're in Glasgow here for the press conference to announce Ricky Burns' next fight on the 27th of June in Glasgow. With me I've got promoter Dave Caldwell, who brings Curtis Woodhouse here to defend his British title and to fight for the Commonwealth title against Willie Limond. Alright Dave?
How are we doing?
All good. Well, I was with Leonard Ellaby most of last week, and now I'm with you.
I've had a few facial changes since then, haven't I? So you can't really compare anymore.
February 22nd, which was a
decent date. In the
great night for yourself, for Curtis and Curtis's family, friends, everyone involved, where he won that British title. Like I said, there was a lot of talk leading up to that from Curtis saying that this would be his last fight, and we all kind of said, is it really going to be his last fight? Only because it's just, you know, it was quite hard to believe then. But Curtis, when he said it, generally meant it, didn't he?
Genuinely meant it, yeah. As far as he was concerned, that was it. It was, you know, go out, mission accomplished, and ride off into the sunset. As his friend, as well as his manager and promoter, I was hoping that would be it. I think that was the perfect time for him to walk off. Nobody can ever say anything again. But excuse me, on talking with him, I understand his reasons. You know, it's hard to walk away on your best performance, your greatest night. You know, when he's got all the fans chanting his name and the people patting him on his back since and everything. It's hard to walk away without thinking, what else can I achieve? And looking at it and listening to what he's saying, whatever happens from here on in, mission was accomplished. You know, the dream was to win a British title and become British champion, and he's achieved that. No matter whatever happens now, he's got that. Nobody can take that away from him. So anything else is a bonus. But at the same time, anything else now has to be a challenge. Has to be something that he can be excited about and be motivated about and get his teeth into and you know, be a fan and look forward to the fight. And this is what we've got with Willie Limond.
In the back of your head though, did you genuinely think that he's saying it, and especially after he won the British title, that did you have an inkling that he probably would end up changing his mind about that?
I thought he was gonna retire, probably about until maybe a day, 2 days after the fight, when he was just telling me about the reception that he got off the fans. And he said it a couple of times where it's just, Dave, how can I walk away from this? And I kind of thought, I said to my missus, I said, he's going to want to box again. And I think that's what it is, because of the way that fans reacted to him. If they weren't so much as happy for him as what they have been and everything, and, you know, then I think maybe he might have retired. But the fact is that they've made such a big deal about it. I went to London the following weekend with his family, and he said he walked through Regent Street or something like that, and people were stopping him and recognising him, and he just found it unbelievable. Now, this is a guy that used to be a professional footballer, but the fact that people recognise him for his boxing achievements and were so genuinely happy for him, you know, made him very, very proud and made him want a little bit more and keep it going a little bit extra. So, you know, we're here and he's carrying on.
Coming into the backyard of Willie Limond, very seasoned, experienced fighter that's fought at opposition of top quality. This is going to be a difficult fight for Curtis, isn't it?
It is, but at the same time this is what Curtis needs to get his teeth into. He said something that, the reason why I believed him that he was going to retire, because he explained something to me where when his dream was to become a professional footballer, he worked so hard and he did everything in order to make that dream happen. And then he became a footballer. Once he got there, he kind of like kicked back and thought, I've cracked it, and he took his foot off the pedal and he let it slip. Now, that mentality was what he was saying, what he was afraid of what might happen in boxing. You know, he's now achieved becoming a British champion, blah blah blah. would he do the same thing? Now, what he needs fear. He needs fights where there's something for him to reach and grab rather than just to protect and just keep hold of. And he's got a Commonwealth title to win now. He's tried before, he's failed. He wants to win a Commonwealth title. We had a chat. We said, forget about being a champion for this fight. As far as he's concerned, he's a challenger all over again. We're a challenger for another title. Coming into another man's backyard, fighting a seasoned operator like Willie, who's fought as high as fighting Eric Morales and people like that. Boxing Crawler. So he's fighting a guy that he has got ultimate respect for as a competitor, but also there's something there on the table that he wants, and he hasn't got, and he wants to go out and grab. So again, it's that challenge there. So that's giving him the motivation and giving him the fear factor that I feel that he needs. And this is what he needs, to keep whatever fights we take on from here on now. It's got to be fights that are big challenges for him, and to see just how far he can go.
How far do you think he can go?
Who knows? Listen, everybody thought, when he won the English title, everybody thought that's as far as he's going to get. He did great, brilliant, fantastic. You're not going to get any further. Now he's got a British title. In a few weeks' time, he could become a double champion, being a British and Commonwealth champion. And then after that, who knows? Who's to say that he can't fight for a European or something and win a European? You just don't know.
If Curtis was to win the Commonwealth title, would you think it'd be fair to say that Curtis is overexceeded?
I think a lot of people out there will say he's overexceeded already, aren't they? Coming into the sport on the back of another sport, starting at 26 years old, and losing to a couple of journeymen in his career, and his career, then really, when you look at the amount of talented fighters, talented amateurs that have turned pro, and talented boxers that are around that have never won a British title, and then you look at Curtis Woodhouse has actually won a British title, then maybe you can say that he's overachieved already. He's certainly done something that the majority of people, be it fans, people in the industry, boxers, he's done something that the majority of people didn't expect him to do. So, like I said, anything from now on is a bonus. But to become a double champion, a British and Commonwealth champion, that's something quite special. Good fighters become British and Commonwealth champion, and so you've got to say, if he becomes British and Commonwealth champion, he's a good fighter. Definitely.
You've got a show this Friday.
Yeah, busy time.
Yeah.
Chad Gainer against Adel Anwar. Looking forward to that fight. It's going to be a great fight. It's a big step up for Chad Gainer. But it's a step up that he needs, and it's a step up that he's chomping at the bit for. Adel's come back with a good win against a good opponent after a couple of losses. And Adel knows that if he gets beat by Chad, then he's kind of all over for him, as far as championship qualities, championship levels concerned. And Chad wants to get into fights with Skeet and people like that. He's ready now for English title level. He's got to beat Adel Anwar in order to get to that level. Would take Skeet straight away. I'd like him to be mandatory for that fight. And I think beating someone like Anwar will put him into a good position to become a mandatory for the English title. But I think Bradley's fighting for WBO or international or something like that. So he might not be English champion for long, and then Chad can fight somebody else for it hopefully. But he's ready for that English title level. And if he can pull off a good performance on Friday, then it'll kind of project him into that league.
Who else is on the bill?
Max Hughes against Joseph Laria. And Laria, we're up in Scotland. Ricky Burns is fighting this weekend. We're here for the press conference for Ricky Burns. Laria fought Ricky Burns for a world title a couple of years ago, so it's a big step up for Max there. But he's another one. The fighters that we've got at Co-Op Boxing, they want real fights, they want testing, and they're excited about seeing how far they can go. And Max has been dying for a real fight at super featherweight. He's had a couple of little fights at super featherweight to get used to the weight division, and he feels strong at the division. And I think a win over Laria will announce him in the super featherweight mix, and then there'll be some good fights there for him. So yeah, looking forward to that fight.
So that shows at Sheffield.
Sheffield, yeah, on
Oh,
Friday.
Sheffield, and
Yeah.
a few tickets left for that.
Yeah, there's a few tickets left for that. We've unfortunately we've had a couple of pull-outs on the bill, but that's boxing. That's, you know, it happens on big shows, it happens on little shows. But those two fights are cracking fights. We've got Jerome Wilson in a good fight as well in a local derby against an unbeaten kid, a kid that was boxed for the Olympics for Cameroon, Serge Mbamo. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but that's going to be a good local derby, both from Sheffield. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And it's on Coldwell Television.
Download the app.
Download the app, free. No excuse really, is there? You know what? It's free to download. You know, we've got 30,000 people on the mobile phones now and their iPads. You know, there's a lot more than 30,000 boxing fans.
Absolutely.
You know, in Britain, around the world, we've got people with it. You know, that have got it in South Africa, in Canada, in America. You know, all over the place. But there's more than 30,000 boxing fans. So really, we could do with more people downloading the Coldwell Television app, because there's video on demand, there's live boxing, and it's all free, and it's all in HD. Good quality.
Good quality. Without going into it too much, or at all.
If we're not going into it at all, what
I've learnt recently about a certain thing that could be happening very soon. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Regarding you and someone else and someone else. Do you know what I'm talking about or not?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, anyway, I was learning about this today.
All right, okay.
This will aggravate people because they're like...
Yeah, no, because I think you're saying, oh, how can you say that and then not talk about it?
But you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
that's an exciting thing for some...
Yeah.
For potentially people to look forward to.
Yeah. I think it is quite exciting. I think it's something that's a bit of a game changer, and it's great for the sport, and it needs to happen. I think, yeah, it's interesting.
It's going to aggravate people. I'll mention it anyway because we like to aggravate the viewers.
That's your fault, that is.
We like to aggravate the viewers, but just watch this space.
Yeah.
Over maybe a potential announcement in the next coming weeks over something.
Soon, shortly, yeah. Like I said, you know, obviously we can't really go into details about it, but it is something that I think boxing fans are going to be really appreciative of. It's going to be good for boxing fans. It's good for the sport.
Absolutely. Alright, well I think the press conference is going to start in the next half hour or so,
No, still only 22.
50
We've
minutes.
got ages, mate.
Got here really, we got here at 9:30.
Did you fly up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we flew up.
First class on EasyJet.
First class on Flybe.
Same thing, isn't it?
Mr. Rhodes nearly ended up missing the plane.
Really?
Yeah, went for breakfast, and for some reason he decides to put his passport on the table. We got up to go, last call, you know, for our flight. We got all the way down to the gate, and for some reason he thinks that I've got his passport. Picked his passport up. No. Curtis, have you got my passport? No. And he's pestering me for literally, it must be about 3-4 minutes, pestering me thinking I've got his passport. And I'm trying to, you know, when you find somebody really funny because they think that you've done something you haven't. So I'm laughing while I'm saying to him, no I haven't, but he's thinking I've got his passport. And the woman at the gate, because we're the last people to be boarding, she's saying, are you coming on or not? I'm trying to explain to him, Ryan, I ain't got your passport, man. You better start running and go and finding it. And poor lad, he had to go for a jog back to the restaurant, and luckily they'd got his passport and put it behind, so he managed to get back and get on the flight. But it was a bit of exercise that he wasn't really planning on.
Won't do him any harm.
It wasn't really. It's a good job he turned up in his tracksuit, really. Otherwise he might have been, uncomfortable doing a little jog, a little sprint.
Absolutely. Alright, well listen Dave, best of luck with your show.
Cheers, mate.
This weekend.
Friday. 7 o'clock, Coldwell Television.
If you haven't downloaded the app,
If you haven't downloaded it, please download it. It's
Download
free.
it.
Join the movement. 30,000 people
and counting.
and counting. Yeah, there were 30,000 people after the last show, so it might be a bit more now. Might be. So, you know.
Get the stats in, Dave. Get the stats in. All right, thanks for talking to us, and look forward to the press conference. And
Yeah.
like I said, good luck with your show this weekend.
Cheers, mate.
Kuhn Cassius, Dave Caldwell for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Cheers.